Yo, what's up? Luciano, if you're still here, bud, just listen to your voicemail. What'd you mean by you lost capital? If you could clear that up for me, that would greatly appreciate it. I'd greatly appreciate it. How the hell are we, guys? Woo! November 7th already. Damn. Got myself the good old H2O tonight. Not gonna lie. For those of you in the Discord, you know, my grandmother passed away. And if you're not Irish, it tends to be a fair amount of drinking. I'm sure you've heard the tale of Finnegan's Wake. I'm sure you heard about Irish wakes. When Graham dies, it's Irish Wake times 100. So I'm probably going to be on the, but thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Even for me, it's been a long week of drinking. I think I said that I drank an entire barley field worth of beer this week. But good run. Graham was going to be 93 in a couple weeks. 12 kids, 30 grandchildren, 35 great-grandchildren, couple grandkids on the way. One of many, many kids as well. Lost some brothers in the war. And then to one of the diseases as well. I don't know which one, but pretty good run. Passed away in her sleep. I mean, that's all we could hope for at 93, right? It was kind of refreshing that thanks for letting me vent about this too, by the way. I had to get it off my chest, but it's kind of nice. I feel like all I've heard is tragedy. You know? I haven't heard of anybody like passing away from just natural causes in a really long time. And it was refreshing. This is my last grandparent to go. So that was kind of interesting. I think the house that I'm living in now is now the longest withstanding Finn household. She got that house in 1949, and talking about uncles and aunts, you know, you think, okay, well, now we got to sell the house. Well, they're telling me that my grandfather and having 9 boys, they did everything in the house. They had an extension to the house. They closed up a garage and made it their living room. They added garages and they added sheds. And we'll just say not everything is CO'd. So it's gonna be a pretty interesting time getting everything set. Figured out. 3 voicemails right now. I'm gonna be honest. If you leave one after right now, I probably won't get to it till next week. I didn't. This is a delight and a joy for me. Like, my wife was like, "You're not missing the live stream tonight, right?" I'm like, "No." You know, I missed my call on Discord only because I had things to do. But this is like a moment of greatness for me. Like, I love it. I look forward to it. So I'm not going to be staying on for a couple hours like I usually do, but I definitely want to get to the questions. Like I said, I'm pretty sure, Luciano, that's you in there, left me a voicemail about losing capital on a covered call. I'm not really sure what you meant by that, so if you can just fill me in on what you really meant by that, I'll get to him. There was another question. Actually, I'll just get to him. But if you guys have any questions, obviously, I'll answer your questions all freaking night long. But this might be a little boring, toned-down version of me, but yeah. Let me ask you this in the chat. I'm just curious. Well, what would the chat do? I get 3 bereavement days. Okay. And thank you. It was we had a holiday on Thursday, the Indian holiday, Diwali. And so I only took 2 bereavement days, Wednesday and Friday. Would you take tomorrow? I'm tossing it back and forth. And not just because I want to take a day, but because like I don't know if like I'm emotionally ready to do it yet. Like I'm still in like a I'm like in a haze. But like when you're a teacher, it's almost harder to miss a day. It's more annoying with like catching kids up and what did I miss? And it's the end of the marking quarter. I don't know. I've been nonstop. I feel like I just need I think tomorrow it finally hits me. I don't know. I don't mourn well. I'm going to be honest. That's my moment of vulnerability there. My dad's anniversary's coming up too. It's weighing heavy on my soul. Lost capital equals stock loses half its value after we buy 100 shares. Okay. All right. So I understand what you're saying. Meaning like you can't really sell a call that above your basis and actually make any money. Is that what you're saying? Thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah, no, it can be more annoying, but I teach seniors that are very, very, very independent. And like, I'm really just there as a facilitator at this point, but I don't know. I mean, just like this makes me feel fulfilled, going to work makes me feel fulfilled. So that's what I'm just gonna have to struggle with. And I talked to a couple of my coworkers, and they're like, you wake up at 5 o'clock tomorrow. When you wake up, see how you feel. Because the worst thing you want to do is get to work and then like break down and not have to like be able to stay there. Like have to be like, oh, you know how I'm here? Now you got to find me somebody. Which I mean, I'm a grown ass man. I could probably suck it up, but. Yes, I am a grown ass man. Contrary to popular belief, I am a grown ass man. Well, let me just get to this first one. I got to refresh because I think you just left one. Yeah, you did. Okay, cool. The first one cuts off, but I know what he was about to say. So, like I said, if you guys have any questions, please, 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 let's just reading all these guys. You guys are so good to me. Thank you. How much do I make from my teaching job? If I told you, would you believe me? I've done videos. I'm like almost at like 150. I think my base salary is like 123. I showed it a couple weeks back. I think it's like 123, and then with coaching and class coverages and the clubs that I do and stuff like that, I almost touch 150. Something like that. I look a little orange today. Let's bring up the let's make this. Yeah, it's feeling a little bit orange. All right, cool. This is a good one. Listen to this one first, please.
Hey, Brad. Thank you for taking all those questions. My question is about I have opened up a covered call 3 months ago with a strike price of 22.50. It's for SoFi, but the stock is hovering around for last 1 month under 20, a little more than 20, so it's much below than the strike price. And I'm about to be expiring the option in 2 weeks. And in my platform, which is Questrade, normally I see some profit when it is going to the end, and as long as is the stock price is much lower than the strike price, I should see some profits. So maybe 50% I should see, but I see all red. I'm just wondering, maybe some different Greeks I have not considered properly. But the bottom line question is, as long as the stock price remains below my strike price, I don't have to.
All right. So I think what he's about to say is like, as long as my strike, as long as the share price is still below my strike, I'm good to go. I think that's what he was pretty much saying. I just got a bug in my throat. This is a question I get all the time, and I'm going to wrap it up. I can wrap it up pretty quickly, but I think it's very, very interesting to know. Hold on, I got to cough one more time. All right. So let me bring up Robinhood quick because this will make it easier to understand, I think. Over here, we see all of these reds and greens. Okay, these are all my options. Plays currently open. Let me shrink this screen down here. So I think we zoomed it up last week. Let me oh gosh. Let me make this so we can actually see the whole screen. All right, here we go. So here's everything. Took advantage of that Peloton. Took advantage of that Peloton dip. Got myself a nice put. My other put, I sold a put on expiration too the other day, which expired worthless by 1 cent, which was dope. It was a 55 strike. I think it finished at 55.01. Starbucks going for it, man. This is going to be the talk of the week in the Discord. What the hell am I going to do with this call right here? But the reason I want to show these, and here's a red one. Here's Lucid. Okay, so kind of like that. Let's go into here and see this. Okay, that's not good. And it's not good to see it down when you're in a put. It's good to see it down when you're in a call, right? So if we look at this one, we see this chart is going up and up and up and up. That's not good if we're in a call. Because what these numbers represent over here, I didn't even transition over. What these greens and reds mean. Okay. And let me give you an example of, do I have just a straight wheel? Okay, I do. I have a straight wheel. So right now I'm wheeling VTI. Okay. And if you look, and this is what people get the most concerned about. I don't know how to fucking zoom in here. Yeah, I'm trying to zoom. You son of a beeswax. All right, that's better. This is what everyone gets all worried about when they first start the wheel. Okay. Right now they see that my VTI position, right? This is a 235 call option and its current value is $800. All right. When I did this, right, it's currently -8. The return for Friday, and also too, guys, this is Sunday, so we know all these values aren't exactly true. But I got $70 for this. So let me scroll down a little bit. I got $70. So I got 70. The current value is 800. All right. So it's showing me at a 1,000% loss. Okay. And when I first started trading the wheel, I would see this and I'd be like, oh my God, because we see this total return of -73. So we're thinking to ourselves, do I owe that money? Like, where did that money? I thought, I watched Brad's video on covered calls. I thought I'd get this premium money in the bank, shorty what you drank, and then it either expires worthless and I keep that money and repeat, or I get assigned the shares. That is still correct. This right here is just a representation of the premium that you got versus what the current value of the option is. Essentially, this is a loss of intrinsic value, or how in the money that option is. Because we can see 235 is my call. The current share price of VTI is $242. Okay. So that's essentially $700 of intrinsic value. Now, where does that other $100 come from? Extrinsic value, implied volatility, right? And theta working together. That essentially would be the money that would be set on fire if the buyer of this option were to exercise on me. They'd be a big dope. Okay. So what are the hopes and dreams that I have for this? Well, because this is a wheel, I'm going to let it expire worthless unless I'm profitable by 75% or more. I never buy to close at a loss when it's just a wheel stock. What I'm hoping for is two things. Number one, theta is going to eat away at the extrinsic value, and the value of the option is going to go down a little bit. And I'll get to how this relates to this gentleman's question in 2 seconds. The other thing I can hope for is that VTI takes a little bit of a banger this week before Sunday, takes a little bit of a correction, right? Because if I look at VTI, the last week, it had a pretty nice run. It was up almost 2%, right? So in the beginning of the week, it's at 137. I'd even take 137. The issue that I'm going to have, and this is kind of going to go to Luciano's question later, is if I get assigned at 242, it's going to be really, really hard for me to come around and write a cash secure put for 235. The value and the premium that I get is almost nothing. Okay. Now, how does this relate to these reds and these greens? All these reds and greens do are tell you if the value, not the share price, not profit or loss, if the value of the option has been green going up or red going down. Now, if we have a put like Lucid, I want the share price to go down because I bought a put. So if the share price goes down, the value of that option would go up. I would win. But right now, the value of this option, I paid. Where's what I paid for it? I paid 375 bones for this one right here. Okay, I paid $375. The current value is 100. So right now I'm in the hole. If I were to sell to close this, I would lose $275. Okay. But this is showing red because the value of this option over time is going down from the last close. And if we look at it, it's just gone down the whole time. I just got kicked in the face. We know I talked to last week why I made this Lucid play. Okay. Let's go to something that's in the green. For example, Starbucks. I bought this Starbucks and I received a credit of $89. Okay. But the value of this option has gone up to 505. So the value has gone up. So it's showing green. I'm still getting kicked in the face, right? I'm still at a loss of $416. So the green isn't necessarily good for me. It's just showing the value of that option. If the value of the option is trending up, it's green. If it's showing trending down, it's red. That's the name of the game, is the value of the option going up or down. Now, to answer your question, the value of the option going down in the red is a good thing for you, right? I want all of these calls that I have, I want them all to be red because I want the value of the option. Here we go. Here's Vuzi right here. Vuzi, I have two $13 calls that are going to expire in 2 weeks. I want this value to go down to nothing so that I can sell to close this at a lower price. So I can buy to close this at a lower price than I sold it, right? I sold this and I got $190, $80 a contract. I want this to be red so that I can buy to close it. And if we go to the month, over the course of the last month, this value of this option has gone up. So in this time frame, it's going to show green because the value of the option has gone up. Over the last week, it's also gone up. But in the last day, it has gone down. So don't necessarily worry too much about the reds and the greens, to be honest. What I'm doing when I'm looking at it is I'm pretty much just getting a general trend. Like that Lucid put that I'm probably going to lose, that donation that I made essentially because I was so mad at everybody that does Lucid or everyone that got excited because they were delivering a car. I might just look at that and see if it's green and be like, oh, I'm having a good day, right? I see it red tomorrow morning. I'm like, oh man, it's not looking good. Come on, theta. Come on, implied volatility. Do something. But that's really the only reason that I'm going to be looking at green. So if you guys are in my Discord, you'll be watching me mess around with Peloton this week. We got to clean that up. That Starbucks call at 112. What is that currently trading for? Yikes. I know they had a day, didn't they? 116. So yeah. But then again, Starbucks can go from 116 back to 112 in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. And then I got a $20 call on Tattoo Chef that's expiring this week. So we'll have to take care of that. That's currently trading for $18.20. Everything else is pushing pretty far out. For anybody else that's following me along, I still need to make some calls on some things. Intel is right now a wheel stock that I'm not messing around with right now. I also closed on Foot Locker. I'm going to be looking to make another put on Foot Locker, but I kind of I got right now $11,000 in buying power. I'd like to clear out that 5,400 from the put on Peloton. And then I don't have any other call puts open. Oh, I do have another call put open. I have Vuzi $10 put that expires in 2022. That's still open. So I do have some collateral that's tied up. I have a CCL $20 put that's tied up until March Right now, here's another good example where I'm winning. Let me put this back. I'll show you all these while I'm at it. So if we come down here, here's that CCL. Right now it's showing red, but I'm up, right? So if I go into CCL, we can see I'm up $26. So that's a good thing for me, right? I bought this put. No, I sold this put right here at $119 credit. Right now it's worth $93. So the value of that option is going down. So it's red, but I'm green. Red and green is just the value of the option and how it's working. Now I am like a Robinhood fanboy when it comes to trading options. This might be different on your platform, but it should be pretty much the same. Hope that answers your question. Ricky M, was that you in the comments? And then I wrote back, spelling is harder. Was that you? What's my boss? What's up? What's up? In Discord, there was more like rude comments on that edit. I just was, they got the wrath of me. I ended up taking them down because that's not my style. They just got me when I was angry. Mr. Rimshaker, can you rate my CSP, TDD, $62, P expiring 11/12/2021? Looks right to me. What up, Day Tripper? What are we doing, Mark? How we doing, bud? $15 premium. I put $45 at stake. Hold on. I mean, I can give you a mathematical sense if it makes sense mathematically. Let's see. 15 hundo. You put up 45. That's a 33% return for a week. Times 100 times 52. That's a $1,700 1,700% return. I don't know anything about TDD, so if the stock sucks and it crashes, you're gonna bag hold, but comments okay. I hope your dog's feeling better. Get it in. I know we're waiting for that. Azevedo's got to put on Lucid as well. We're waiting for those earnings call. Let's go. Aaron, I'm hoping that they have an earnings call like fucking Peloton did. Let's go. That would be glorious. And there's no reason why they shouldn't. And because I mean, what did Peloton had a 1% change in revenue and they dropped 33%. 1% change in their revenue, 1% decrease in their revenue. And their revenue is up from last year this quarter. But yet they dropped 33%. That's how dumb people are these days. But Voozy for the win. Let's go, Voozy. How we doing? Tattoo Chef has earnings on Tuesday. Tattoo Chef is one of those companies I think can only have good earnings at this point. But it's one of those things. We'll see. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Wednesday. Did you say you left the school teaching career? Not yet. This is probably my last year. Okay. That's funny. Did you spell it wrong on purpose, or did you have a typo and I caught you? I want to know. Oh, man, that's so funny. Oh, God, I want Lucid to drop by 1,000,000%. Steven's got a Roth IRA question. I'm 24, open in April 2020. Dope. Bought several Vanguard funds and at 50% in all of them. Awesome. I've been hesitant to buy more now that I have $11K in cash sitting in my account. Why are you hesitant? Best day to invest is yesterday. The second best day to invest is today. Simple as that. And I'm going to catch shit too because I just put, if you saw on my main channel, I put I got 10K cash. Do I put 10K today or 5K the 1st of November, 5K the 1st of December? The people that know me know that there was no shot I was going to do 5 and 5. I never dollar cost average. Ever. Time in the market beats timing in the market every single day and twice on Tuesday. So if you're hesitant because you watch YouTubers and you're worried about bubbles and crashes and things like that, shame on you, bud. If you're hesitant because you like having 11K liquid and you don't want it invested, that's something different. But remember, in your Roth IRA, you could take your contributions back at any time. You just can't take the growth. So you have till April 2021 to put money in for 2020. I mean, no, you have till April 2022 to put money in for 2021. So you got some time, but I'm curious, like, what is your hesitancy? What's up, Donnie? Hey, Brad, I have 100 shares, and this is my first covered call that I'm selling. If I have to sell my shares, will I still get my full premium along with the capital gains? Yep. Guys, premium goes in your account immediately. It is the handshake. After the handshake, the premium means absolutely nothing except affecting your break-evens. But yes, and you get the capital gains. What happened? Guys, today's all-time highs are 10 years from now's all-time lows. Right? I mean, the stock market goes up. Not stonks. The stock market goes up. And if it trades flat, okay. Okay. If it goes down 30%, okay. We buy more next time. Like, every single time I have money, I invest. Simple as that. I do not care what the news says. I pick quality companies. I'm in index funds. If the indexes crash, if VTI goes to zero, we got bigger effing problems than my fucking Roth IRA. Every single time I have a disposable income, which is daily, I invest. I've never in my life been like, what if I've never done it. Now, I have held money liquid in cash for other things that I might need cash for. Like when I had my first child, I held cash because I was like, I don't know how this works. How much freaking money am I going to need when I have this kid? So I didn't invest. I was saving up for a new car. I didn't invest. I was paying off debt. I didn't invest. I wanted to buy a real estate property. I didn't invest. That real estate property fell through. I took 25 grand and bought dividend stocks with them in pretty much one day. The only reason I put 10 grand in, I put $20,000, right? $25,000 I put in dividend stocks. And the only reason I didn't put 35 in is because I had to wait for the other 10 grand to clear. And the day it cleared, I put it in. I don't know. That's it. Pretty much, if I have money to invest, who says it's like all-time highs great? Could you imagine if you didn't invest 10 years ago because we were at all-time highs? I don't know. Well, thank you for spelling it wrong on purpose. I hope you got my sarcasm back. You've had better returns just wheeling stocks from poor man's covered calls. I think that's safe to say. I think it's a little bit jaded to say that I've done better with the wheel than the poor man's covered call because I still have, in 2021, I've probably done 15. I've bought 15 Leaps options and 12 of them are still open. So I don't know the full validity of that return. But if I were to put a stop loss on today and look at all of the money I've made wheeling, I made more money wheeling and churning every week with exponentially more work, more stress. So I'm okay with losing that to the poor man's covered call. I think there are great stocks to wheel with, but also, as we know, so I guess back to that hesitation in the market. It's not that I backed off my poor man's covered calls, not because I was afraid of a crash, just because I was uncertain. Right? We want to have as many things in our control as possible. And if I don't think, and if I'm not confident that the market's going to continue the way it's going, then I'm not going to stop investing. I'm just going to invest in different ways. So I'm tending to wheel now. I moved into dividend stocks again. I didn't stop investing, but I stopped taking riskier plays on growth stocks, if that makes any sense, right? So that's why I've kind of backed away from some of my poor man's covered calls. I haven't really bought a Leaps option in a while. I rebought into Waste Management. I said I was going to do that because I just closed one and I just wanted to reopen it because I'm very bullish on them. But yes, I think it's safe to say that I made more percentage. I made more monthly income wheeling my 6 to 8 stocks that I was wheeling. But it comes with exponentially more work and a ton more capital, like a ton more capital. So it's not that I like one more or the other. It's just it's more like what market's better. I have a cash secure put video. If I could do it tomorrow after work, it'll come out on Tuesday. I put the thumbnail up. I already have the thumbnail. It's already done. I just have to record it. Shit got in the way this week. But like right now, my favorite thing to do is write puts. It's just the type of market we're in. Because I could take advantage of these stupid things that spike for like a day for no reason. And the premiums are like, or like Peloton. Like do I think that Peloton should have been $100 stock? No, I haven't bought it in a while. My basis is right around $50 on it. It's like, but when it drops 33%, can I write a put at the money? Yes. Do I think it's going to go down 50%? No. I think people like saw, they don't do the math. They didn't see that it was a 1% decrease in revenue and an increase in revenue from last year. They see the billion number and they see like 115 billion down 110 billion. It's like, and then the stock crashes. So that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for like things that crash down or correct for no reason fundamentally whatsoever, and I write puts. That's what I've been doing. Or things that are just such value that people don't know about. Like Aaron turned me on a Foot Locker, been doing a lot. Smith & Wesson, all these other things that I've puts on are just companies that fundamentally are great and will make money over time. So, yeah. Into inventory, I'm seeing all money. Yeah, day trader, awesome. Yeah, if I was starting a business, you know what I love when I propose a business opportunity to people and they tell me no. I just asked a guy if he wanted to go into business doing this activity or this thing. And he's like, no, I don't really think that would do well. Oh my God. Couldn't you have just said yes and then we could have not done it? Now that you said no, I have to crush you. I have like a Dave Portnoy about that. Like I gave you the opportunity to go into a business venture with me and you said no. Now I must crush you. So just giving myself more work for myself. Oh, Palantir. Donnie, I have no idea. Why does it show a negative balance on my in the option? Were you here before when I was talking about pluses and minuses? The value of the option is why you're showing negative. The value of the option probably went down. No, I do not own Tesla. I used to. Where did we see that? That used to be in the M1 finance portfolio. I do not own Tesla. I don't really. I have no problem saying that. I am one of the people that thinks that they are severely, severely overvalued. And I think the market is severely, severely overvalued. And that might sound hypocritical. You're like, Brad, you just said that there's no crash, like that we shouldn't be worried about investing. Like just because the market in general is overvalued doesn't mean there's not good plays out there. And just because I think that the market is overvalued doesn't make me believe that it's not going to continue to be overvalued for the next 5 years. So why would I miss out? You know? But I was talking to my good friend JJ Buckner the other day, like serious talk. A lot of people are going to get financially hurt really, 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 really bad if things correct. If the things that happen with Peloton and other companies like just dropping and correcting, there's going to be a lot of people that get hurt by it. It's going to be a sad, sad day. And who's going to get hurt by it? People that don't know how to win in a red market, for one. People that are over leveraging themselves, number two. People that aren't debt free and have minimal expenses, three. I don't want to see it. I don't, but it's one of those things where I don't know. I hope I'm like away from YouTube and done when it happens. It's going to hurt a lot of people. It is. I mean, it's going to hurt me financially, but like I know how to win in red markets. I could win in a bear market. And is it like the cliche side of me? Like, do I want to cleanse out some YouTubers that can throw darts on the wall and do well? No, because I don't want to see people lose. I'm here for people to win. But I'm not confident that as many people that are winning now can win when it's down. I don't know if people have enough capital to write puts for 3 years and make money that way. I don't know. I don't know if people have enough capital to start a side hustle that can bring them some more money while their retirement account like sits still or goes negative for a couple years and their retirement date gets pushed back a little bit. You know. What's up with the dent in your car? I almost made a video, not a video, like an Instagram about this accident that I had the other day. And it was really, really an incredible perspective piece for me. I drive in New York. I'm a fast driver. I'm an aggressive driver. I am very, very impatient as a person and a driver. But I think I've been in 5 accidents in my life, and I think one of them was my fault. And the other 4, I was rear-ended. So I've been in one that was like 50-50, but I think it was like my fault. But the other 4 times I've ever been in an accident, and this is through 10 years of delivering pizza, driving to and from Arizona. Like, I've done a lot of driving. I've only been rear-ended. So we had the first night of my grandmother's wake on Wednesday. On Thursday. Thursday. What's today? Sunday. Yeah, Thursday. And after it, we went for it. We went for it. And my grandmother at our house, she has like this little hill in her front yard. And when we were kids, like the funnest thing ever was rolling down the hill. So a bunch of her grandsons, my cousins, and we're all older now, in our late 30s, 40s, even into our 50s. We're drinking till 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. We're like, F it, we're going to go climb the flagpole and roll down the hill. So I rolled down the hill. My shirt just got destroyed. I was climbing up the flagpole. It got caught. It got ripped. And I didn't really put all those pieces together until Friday morning when I realized that I had to be at a wake at 2 again. And I'm not a dressy person. I own one dress shirt. So I scramble. My brother-in-law is like staying in my house, but he's a little guy. He's like 5'7". That's just not going to fit me. So I'm like, damn it. I have to go do the thing that I hate doing the most in this universe, and that's going shopping. So I go to Target first because it's closer to my house. Target's men's department is hogwash poopycock. So I'm forced to go to Kohl's, which is fine because it's right by Dubco. Now, at this time, I got plenty of time to make it. And if I'm ever like less than a quarter mile from Dubco, I'm going to go stop in, say hello to everybody, and get some beer. Especially since we drank it all last night, I need some more for tonight. So I go there, I have a beer, I get out of there. Okay? And for all you like, did he just say that he had a beer and then he drove? Guys, it's not illegal to drink and drive. It's illegal to be intoxicated and drive. Anyway, and it was a sour and it was 3%. Okay? So get off my case. I go to Kohl's. Awesome. Picked out my shirt right away. I know my neck is 36 and I know I need a 35, 36 shirt. I knew that. So I just found my first great one. Line's pretty long. By the time I got out of there, it was 1:20. I call my wife. 10 minutes from home. I still have to shower and I got to drive 15 minutes to the wake. I said, you got to cover for me, baby girl. Like, can I pick you up coffee or something? Like, can I say that we need a coffee? She's like, dope. Get coffee. I'll cover for you. No big deal. My wife's a saint. I'm stopped at the light. It is 1:40. I'm like, wow, I'm not going to be that late because I flew home. And I just felt like in the back of my car when I was stopped at the red light. And then a car pulls up next to me. And it's like this little old woman. And she rolls down the window. She goes, do I pull over? I've never been in an accident. And I'm like, yes. I'm furious. She pulls up. She pulls out of the car. And like, I'm thinking to myself, keep it together, but I'm pissed. I'm late. It's been a long week. She gets out and she's trembling. She's absolutely trembling. And instantly I went into empathy. I consider myself an empath, not like John Scholler empath, but like I'm an empath. Okay, that's kind of the reason why I tried veganism. Like, and if you don't know what that is, it's essentially like a flex on saying that you are really good at putting yourself in the perspective of others, even when they can't put in the perspective of themselves. I learned about it when I was learning about suicide after my brother passed away. I learned how to find the positiveness in people and everybody, right? So she's trembling. I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I just go into like, let's calm this woman down and see what's going on. I turn on my gentle teacher voice. I pretended like she was my own grandmother. She tells me she's going to the cardiologist, and turns out we found out that my grandmother had skipped like 3 cardiologist appointments in the days leading up to her, or the weeks leading up to her death. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a sign. She's never been in an accident. I look at her car. Her car is trashed. You guys saw on my Discord, my car. So what happened was she was behind me and then wanted to go into the turning lane to my left. So she cut it too short. So when she hit me, instead of stopping, she like panicked a little and just went. So she got a scratch, pretty much a hole from her headlight to her taillight. I got a fist punch on my bumper. And to be honest, I own my truck outright and I don't really care. It's a truck. It has scratches. I drive it off road. Like, if her car wasn't so banged up, I probably would just been like, was it your fault? It's your fault. Let's get out of here. But she's going to need to get her car fixed, especially at 80 plus. So I called the police. The police are like, oh, it's going to be a while. We have shortages. My buddy's a police officer. I call him. I'm like, hey, if you're working, can you get somebody here? So, long story longer, I was about an hour late to the wake. My wife ended up getting me a coffee. And I hope that woman got home okay. I think she did. We calmed her down. Told her it's going to be all right. She's like, what do I do? I'm like, you just call this number, and that's it. And she had Allstate. Allstate called me. They were like, hey, what happened? So, yeah, got in an accident, too, this week. Not really an accident, but like an inconvenience. Back to the markets, please. Back to the markets. I love buying to close long term. I buy to close everything. Do you roll leaps as it gets to less than 90 days? Hell yeah. I just close them out. Sell to call. Sell to close. Anytime that's good between. I just did a video on this. Go back to the main channel, Tim. I just did a video. I think it's titled like selling my. Hold on, I'll tell you what it's called, so you can just go look at it. I literally just did a video on closing my options. What did I call that? Closing all my options or something like that? Your channel. It was. Oh, this one. Desktop. Tim, for your question. This one right here. I think it was it. No. Oh, why I close at leaps for max profit. This one right here. So if you want to know like exactly why I close, that's a good place to start. All right. What else we got? Of course, Elon thinks it's overvalued. Do you consider investments into your health, gym, diet, equity important as financials, for example? Is it worth being able to invest in the markets in order to pay for better health? Health is number one. Like, if you're unhealthy, your wealth means nothing. Health's number one. I'll give you an example, Colin. I get lit up by my friends because I own a Peloton and I own a Peloton tread. So that means in my guest room, I have about $5,000 invested into a stationary bicycle and a treadmill. But, and this is not a flex, when I go out to eat or when I go out to somewhere and I see people that I went to school with, they all look a hell of a lot older than I do. I especially for the amount of alcohol I consume. And most of my teenage years into my mid-20s, I smoked a pack of cigarettes a day. Yeah, no, health is very important. Very, 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 very important to me. I don't think there's anything better. I think that an investment in yourself, that sounds cliche, but if you're saying, would you put a little less in the market to pay for better health? Yes. Yes. That Peloton bike is going to save me a ton of money in pills and checkups and things like that. Right? It's an upfront investment. So, not to mention, if I could keep writing puts that cover the monthly cost of Peloton, I'm going to make money on them. Not to mention, I also own them at about $50. Yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Tesla's going to be interesting. There's a lot of people that are like heavily, like, what is Meet Kevin going to do if Tesla corrects like 50%? Yikes. Charles, I would love to mess with Tesla put options if I could afford it. I think we talked about this a little last week. If I could afford it, that would be dope. I would write puts on Tesla every week if I had 18 grand sitting around or whatever it's going to cost me. Every week. There's a very large part of me after these VTI shares get assigned that's what I'm going to do. Spoiler alert. Because, yeah. But you want to know what? The only thing that might fight that back is I don't think I can write puts low enough for me to feel comfortable. I don't know. I'd have to write puts at like deltas of 0.1. But even at deltas of 0.1, because let it be known too, this VTI call that I'm going to get assigned on, it's well above my basis. So I'm going to make capital gains on that. Even though it's $700, I could have made $700 more. I still did pretty good. So I think, I don't know. And their monthlies, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I would love to do that. Second year presidency is usually a weak market year. Might be interesting to see these folks 2022. I don't know anything about that. I don't watch politics. So Aaron, that you make a good point. Like, I'm not going to buy puts on them, but you wouldn't even sell puts on Tesla? I don't know. Oh, Robert, what'd you retract? Luciano, thanks for the thumbs up, buddy. We'll get to your question. Luciano, if you need to leave and I'm sitting here just like chatting away, let me know. Like, Brad, I got to get out of here. Can you play that voicemail? I'll play yours next because I know you're here. But yeah, Luciano, if you need to leave, let me know, please. Robert says, I'm over half in cash. I'm learning lots. So if we stay on your Discord, we might be able to learn how to win in a red market. Yeah, I mean, how do you win in a red market? There's a couple different ways. Number one, you write puts. Number two, you do the poor man's covered call with puts. Right? Harder to bet on a company long term, bet against a company long term. But like if things start to correct, you can easily buy a put option and then write puts against it. The opposite. It's just a diagonal debit spread with a put. That's another way. Wheeling is another way to win in a neutral or bearish market, in my opinion. Even a neutral to kind of up market. Neutral is ideal for the wheel, in my opinion, but if things start to correct, I'm just going to wheel. And I'll wheel my way down with a stock, and then I'll wheel my way back up with it. I mean, if I could get out of what happened, bag holding Wells Fargo, that was like the confidence builder I needed to know that I can handle any correction if I'm wheeling a stock. Yeah. Tesla. Being an empath is a double-edged sword. And I'll tell you this, it's got me in more trouble than it's helped me. Robin, you're correct. Being an empath has caused my life more suffering than happiness. Because most of the time, if you have to help somebody, they don't want to be helped. They don't know you're helping them. Or yeah, no, it's been tough. There's been some really good times though. Where's the top? If I knew that, man. Do you close covered calls? Yes, Donnie, I do. Look at any one of my covered call videos. I'll talk about that at length. I think that's in the when I sell. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I close them all. Closing options. That's right. Can't make money if you're not alive. Well, Michael Burry's. The thing with Michael Burry is you only really need to be right once, and he was right. He gives a lot. Kevin gives a lot. He definitely does. Selling put means you're bullish. I'm not bullish. I see what you did there. Yeah, Aaron is a chatty Cathy tonight. Sure is. Thank you, Luciano. Thank you, buddy. I'm just reading the chat, guys. Aaron, what are you drinking? Oh man, that exercise thing. I wish JJ would have stuck with that mile challenge. I really wish he would have. I'm curious. I think Olivia's the only one still doing the mile challenge. And she hit like 80 today. I think. I think today was day 80. That's awesome. If that's really what she's at, let's see how. I wonder if I've run that equivalent in that time. Like if I've run 80 miles. Let's see. Well, let's look together. I think I have. Because when did we start that? Like August 14th or something like that? I think it was like August something. Actually, I'll be able to see it right here. I wish there was a way that I got to learn OBS a little bit better. I wish there was a way I could just be like, okay, go to full screen. So let's see. We started, August. What day is this? August 18th we started. So I've done 8. Another 8 makes 16. Another 7 is what? 23. Call it 31. Call it 39. Call it 44. 54. 55. 65. 66. 76, 79. Yeah, so I've run more than 80 since then. Yeah. Oh, I hate this woman on Peloton. I hate her so much. All right, let's get another voicemail in here. Let's do Luciano's because I know he's here. All the beers. JJ's got the house to himself. Charles, you're still doing the mile challenge? Good for you, bud. Yes. I haven't talked to JJ actually. JJ's actually one of those people where he knows how hard losing my grandma hit me. So he texted me in the morning and literally he's texted me every single day and just said, Brad, I'm here for you if you need me today. And that's really all we spoke. We did the live stream on Wednesday, but I really haven't spoken to him much this week. So I owe him a solid phone call tomorrow. We'll catch up on all the things. These nuts. Oh, gosh. All right, here's Luciano's question.
Hey, Brad. This is Luciano from Canada, calling you from the Great White North. Just want to let you know, love your show. All my Canadian friends up here also love you. Just wanted to give you a quick question here. Hold on. I got some blue ribbon, a little bit of beer SMR here.
Let's go.
Just wanted to ask a quick question about the covered call wheel strategy. It seems that some of my friends are having these challenges where they sell a covered call after buying 100 shares. And then, believe it or not, the shares get cut in half. And they're saying, Luch, thanks for teaching me the strategy. That I got a little bit of premium, but my capital was cut in half. What do I do? And torn from giving them advice from selling some puts to kind of average down, throw some good money after bad, or just possibly wait it out. Any advice to my friends and myself would be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you, buddy. I'm gonna wait it out. I mean, it's one of those things where did they buy a stock that maybe they didn't want to do this with? That would be the only thing that I could be like, oh, that kind of stinks. But yeah, you ride it out. Things are gonna go down. You still own the 100 shares. If it's dividend stock, you're still gonna get the dividends. And you might be able to, I mean, if it went to half, you probably can't find any calls above your basis, even if you're getting a couple bucks. So you might just have to ride it out. I mean, if you love the stock and you know that correction was bullshit, you could write a put. And if you get a sign on that put, that's going to lower your cost basis. That's definitely a strategy there, but I wouldn't let it beat you up too much. Things go down. But this is a good example, and I'll tell you this. And I'm not saying that you told your friends what to do. But this is a reason why I don't give advice to even my friends, and even more importantly, my friends. If I gave advice to a stranger and like things went bad, and I kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit back in December with Vuzi when I was so excited about Vuzi, and everyone started telling me like, "Oh, what are you really into?" And I was just jumping around the Vuzi train. And then 6 months later, they were like, "Oh, what with the Vuzi?" Now for me, I'm like, I'm still very happy with my Vuzi place. Thank you very much for asking. But for them who got in when it was $22, $23, or take Peloton for another example. I bought Peloton 2 4th of Julys ago when all my female cousins were like, Peloton. And I was like, all right, let's see. And I was like, if all these little girls, and not little, they're all my cousins, are adult girls, but if all of this group of girls is this hot and bothered over Peloton, like they are about Starbucks and Etsy and all the other, what is that ETF? But I was like, I'm going to go for it. And I was drinking, so I went for it, and it was a win. So I started talking about how awesome I'm doing in Peloton when it goes to 100, and people like started like buying into Peloton. And then what just happened? They're all calling me all day. Like, I didn't tell you to buy it. They're like, yeah, but you own it too. I was like, I do. And I'm still up because I bought it 2 years ago, bro. So if you did give advice, this is a lesson to like give people strategies and let them choose particular stocks. Telling them about the wheel strategy and how to make money off the wheel strategy is awesome. In the long run, they're going to win money. They're going to do well. But if you like do the wheel with this stock, that might be on you, bro. Just a little bit. And maybe we won't do that anymore. So it's that fine line we talk. But yeah, the advice is like it's going to go down. Half is big. If you said half, that's big. But you still own an asset, right? If it went down half because the asset sucks, you might have to take the L. But you're taking the L on 100 shares, not the wheel strategy, right? Or you just figure out ways to get yourselves back out of it. Ways you get out are taking little bits of premium over time. That's what happened with Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is taking like $3 to $5 every week, trying to come back from a $500 capital gains loss, maybe even more. And I just took $3 to $5 at a time. And every once in a while it'd spike and I'd get myself $20. And I just did that over time. And over time, just long run, things happen for the better. So if they're pissed, it's down 50%, that it sucks, but it's going to be okay. Unless it's a shitty sock, but I think you get what I'm saying. Oh, it's Becky, right? The ETF is Becky. So yeah, that's really my opinion on that is stick with it. If you think you're going to bag hold it for a while and you think the price is stabilized back down to that 50, yeah, if you have the capital, write a CSP. But also too, think about the big picture, and that's going to be part of the next voicemail. Think of the big picture, right? It's not just this one wheel. You have many different wheels that you're going to try and hope to build in your portfolio. So, think about how this is a 50% loss, but your other wheels that you're building are going to help offset that as a total big picture of the whole year and all of the things that you're wheeling. Like an index fund. Like take VTI. What do they say? Like there's 4,000 plus stocks inside VTI, and I think only 20% of them are profitable at the end of the year, right? So they depend on that top 20% to offset some of the whoops-a-daisies in the bottom 80. Don't quote me on those, but I think it's like 20/80. So this might be one of those things. Like if this is your basket, and it's just that one, you own one stock with 100 shares, and that's all you own. Yeah, it's putting a lot of eggs in one basket, but I wouldn't let it get you down. Thanks for the question, bud. 12:23, man. That's moving. I'll tell you, with my running, I always thought I had to be so fast, and when I started to not be fast, it really started to beat me up. So I looked up something called mafetone training, which is like low heart rate training, and I've been doing that now for 8 weeks, pretty much training at the top end of my zone 1 into zone 2. And when I first did that 8 weeks ago, I had to walk to keep my heart rate at 141. And then I just did a run yesterday. Let me show you this for all you athletic people out there, and for you drinkers. Listen, sometimes you run, sometimes you drink. This right here, I was 924 is moving for me. Like it's moving right now. And my heart rate, I don't know what's wrong with me. Analysis overview. Why won't it show me anything? Oh, heart rate. My average heart rate is 138. Like that's insane. This was 138. I couldn't even walk at 138 8 weeks ago, and I'm running at 924. So it's made me love running again. So if anybody's thinking about running, look up Mafetone, Maffftone. It made me love running again. Oh, you love that JMIA. How much you bag holding them right now? Diego, while it depends. Like, let me give an example. Do you mind sharing that? Do you mind sharing what stock that is, Luciano? If not, I'll just make one up. But let's say, for example, let's take Peloton, for example. Let's go back over here. And here's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be hard to recuperate. Let's say you owned Peloton at $95. Okay, you just bought 100 shares of it because you were like, I'm going to do this. Okay. Now it corrects and goes down literally 32%. So if you owned it at $95, let's just say 95 for round numbers, right? Rule number 1 with the wheel, we have to sell above our basis. So if you went to trade Peloton and you went up to $95, oh my God, it's a long way. Okay. You're going to get $3 right now. And I have a feeling on Monday that's going to be $1. $1 means it's worthless. This probably will have no volume and not get fulfilled. Right? Because there's one thing to be above your basis and there's another thing getting it filled. Like what is the delta on this is 0.00. So that's essentially the leverage of owning 0 shares. So could he make some premium? Yes. Could, and I say this lightly, could he gamble and do like a delta of 0.1? Like, geez, like holy Christmas. Oh my gosh, where are we even going to be for 0.1? Okay. Could he mess around and come up to a delta of 0.1, meaning you have a 90% chance of winning and get $40? Sure. But if you get assigned, you are going to get hard body karate right in your throat punch, right? Did I do that with Wells Fargo sometimes when I was feeling a little bit saucy? I might have. I'm not going to say that every single one was like a $2, $3 call. But yeah, when you're fighting back with your bag holding, the issues are volume, getting that thing fulfilled, and just having no value to the option at the strike you need. Now, what could he do to combat that? All right, let's go back to this 95. Right now, it's pretty much hogwash poopycock. It means absolutely nothing. Maybe you can go like this. Okay, that's this week. Now, next week, what happens to it? Well, next week, it becomes $11, Maybe he's like, all right, I'm going to be bagging holding this thing for a couple months at least, right? So maybe just because he wants to put it out of his mind, he's going to come out and look at 95 for January and just put it in the back of his mind and just take the $60 and move on. So like you can do that. You can get some premiums by pushing out expiration. But like I said, if Peloton, like you write this 95 and you do it for like say a year, and then Peloton, like people are like, oh wait, so their revenue is still up from the last quarter, and the only thing that happened is they didn't meet analyst expectations, and they have 4 global studios that haven't been opened in 2 years, that if you lived in New York City down the road from the New York City location and you saw that thing packed out, 50 bicycles at $20 a head from 4 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, and they've opened 4 more places, like, I'm not worried about Peloton's revenue. And I'm not saying that 55 is even a good price for Peloton. But what I'm saying is, like, I wouldn't have a problem bag holding this. I wouldn't. Because people just freaked out that, like, oh my God, somebody let their puppy run over their freaking treadmill and it was Peloton's fault. You know? You know it was one of those little white yappy dogs. You know those dogs. Was that too much? I'm sorry. Sorry, puppy. I want to say it's over 2. You guys are chatting. Yeah, Olivia. She's at day 80. Killing it. 2K whole. Oh gosh, you sound like JJ in that. You sound like JJ in the Baba. He's getting. Speaking of hard body karate, he's getting that. Here's a question coming in, and if I gave you guys if I gave you the, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. Maybe I am drinking. If I let you guess what you thought the topic was going to be, nobody would get it. Here comes Jared.
Hey, Brad, this is Jared. Love your channel. I have a question about capital gains. Say you sell a cash secured put for $40 and you get a premium of $4. So it would make your cost basis $36. And those shares get assigned. And then you turn around and sell a covered call for, say, a 39 strike price, and that ends up being in the money. But with that, you received a $3 premium. For capital gains tax, would it show a loss since you bought it at 40 but sold it at 39, even though you made $7 a share from the premium? If you could answer that, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
I have a soft spot for taxes. I love tax efficiency, and everything that I'm going to say is opinion. I do not read the tax code every single day. I got to get these disclaimers out because I have a feeling this one's going to make it to the main channel. I am not a CPA. My CPA is very bright. You can look him up, Matt Biggin at MRB Accounting. This is not sponsored by Matt, but he's that good to me. When we look at capital gains and selling options, we spoke earlier in this live stream about looking at the big picture of the wheel. Down some stocks, up some stocks, but the big picture of the year. Capital gains when it comes to options is the same. You are not taxed per option. This is a common misconception, right? You are not taxed per option. You are taxed at the end of the year on your net capital gains and losses, okay? So in this case, you were correct, but it doesn't really matter that much because it's not about one option. Now, there's some things that, we can clear up that are some misconceptions. Number one, if you collect premium, that is a positive capital gain, okay? If you give premium away when you buy an option, that is a capital loss. But people don't necessarily talk about that because there's going to be an end of that option. And at the end of that option, you are going to have a net capital gain and a capital loss. And then you're going to do this many, many times throughout the year. Now, could you figure it out? People ask me all the time, like, do I figure out my capital gains? I do it quarterly on a rough scale. Like, you guys know I track everything, right? So I know give or take about where I'm going to be quarterly. Okay. These are mostly going to be short-term capital gains. I will tell you this, and this is something that I just learned recently, maybe in the last 3 months or so, probably at the end of quarter 2. If you are the writer of an option, meaning you sold a call or put, everything that you get is going to be short-term, whether it's capital gain or capital loss. This is not the case if you are the buyer of an option, say a Leaps option. If you were to buy an option, a call or a put, and you hold that option for more than 365, not 365, more than 365, any net gain will be taxed as a long-term capital gain. If you held that contract, you are the buyer of that Leaps, and you held that contract for more than 365 days, any profits you accumulate on just that, not the short calls with it, just that one option, that is going to be a long-term capital gain, which is why it's very, very important if you are the buyer of options and you're like 10 months in and it doesn't expire for 6 more, for heaven's sake, please hold it for 2 more months. That's a big percentage of taxes getting smacked out of your hand if you have to. Now, certain circumstances, it might be the right time to sell it. Yes. Sell to close. Yes. Okay. But like I said with the poor man's covered call just a second ago, if you write against that poor man's covered call, any premiums that you collect or any profit from that writing that call is going to be short term. If you were to write a covered call that expired in 2 years and you held that for 2 years, that is going to be a short-term capital gain. Okay? Why? When do you collect premium? Immediately. You collect it immediately. All right? So the long-term, short-term capital gains, and please, if you need to fact check me, do it. I'm almost positive I'm correct. Short-term and long-term capital gains are only applicable to buying calls and puts then held for more than 365 days. So if you buy a Leaps option and you pay $500, you start at a net capital loss. You hold it for 390 days and then you sell to close for $1,000. Your net capital gain is going to be $500 taxed as a long-term capital gain. If you sell it at 360, that $500 is going to be taxed as a short-term capital gain. Okay? So just think about it like that. It's net. Okay? So I guess long story short, when you are the seller of options, it doesn't matter. Just consider everything short-term capital gains. What's short-term capital gain tax? Whatever your federal tax rate is. Okay? Long-term, you have to look. There's too many things for me to know off the top of my head. Whether you're married, filed jointly, single, your income, there's different brackets, whatever. Try not to look at it as one. You'll drive yourself crazy if you try and figure it. I make a video about how I profited on a Leaps option. They're like, what about the taxes? Yeah, man, there's going to be taxes. I'm sorry that I didn't factor that in because I don't factor it in every single trade. I definitely look at my Leaps and make sure that I hold them. That's why I haven't sold to close my Voozies yet, right? My Voozie plays right now, if we look at them, because I thought about trimming one of them. Let's take a look at Voozie real quick. And what a roller coaster this has been. I got this option on the 18th of December of last year, I believe. The 18th of December. And so where were we? It was right here. It was $400. Okay. So if we look, oh my gosh. I got it for $400 at a time. I could have sold to closes for $2,500. Finn, why the hell didn't you do that? Well, number one, I set an expiration for 2023. I was very, very bullish on this price being low and it keep going up. I was wrong. Whoops-a-daisy. But I'm still doing good. I'm still up 93%, right? As we can see right here, I'm still up 93%. But I have 2 that are open. The current value is $1,500. So I'm still up 1,100 in less than a year, right? So that doesn't suck. And we can see, yo, look at this week. Hold on, this month. Yeah, this month has gone back up. I was sitting down here in the trenches, $560. I was only up $160. It's climbed back up. Sweet. Okay. Even if this thing popped again, and I thought about these dark days way back here when I'm like a donkey, right? And look at this was a rough ride because when Vuzi climbed to here, 1920, right? And then it dove to here. What was this time? This was a week. In a week, it went from 1920. It lost $900 in a week. You would think after getting smacked in the face for that $900 that when it got to here 2 weeks later, I would have learned my lesson and got out. Nope, I didn't. And then a week later, it dove back down to 1,700. And you'd think after it did that, when it went back up to 2,500, I would have been like, let's get the hell out of Dodge. Nope, didn't do that either. And there's probably 3 reasons why I didn't. Number 1, I wasn't really watching it that much because I was so far from expiration. I was just selling calls. Number 2, we were having a ton of fun with that in the Discord. It was fun to watch. And 3, this is right around my birthday, is March 22nd. So I was drinking. I had no time for Vuzi. But back to the video at hand, or this topic at hand. Right now, I don't know how to feel about Vuzi. And I'm pretty happy taking 93% for a year, to be honest. But I'm not going to sell to close it until December 19th, at least, which ironically is my grandmother's birthday. I'm not going to do it, okay? Because I'm not going to get kicked in the face when it comes to capital gains tax. Okay? So that's what it is. Hold your leaps for more than a year, please. Please. If you're the writer of an option, it doesn't matter. You're just getting taxed at your capital gains rate. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. I dream of the day I can come on here and tell you guys that I paid $1 million in taxes. Because you know, if I do that, all the non-Americans, yeah, like short, long. I got to tell you though, Calm, I think we win on that short term, long term. I mean, right now, what single is you could make up to what $80,000 in long term capital gains tax free. I think that's what it is. It 80? I think we win on that. Awesome question, Honest Life. The answer is no. Unless you have filed with the IRS as a pattern day trader. Like as a career, which is a pain in the ass. But if you make YouTube videos, even just one of them, about trading, then it's a write-off. Then, sir, it was a business expense. And you don't need an LLC for that. You could be a sole prop. My first 3 years of YouTube, I was a sole prop. And right now I have 2 LED panel lights. I have a microphone here. I have a microphone here. I have a recorder here. I have a screen here. I have a 2019 MacBook Pro here. I have a Canon M50 here. I have another Canon M50 over here that never gets turned on. I have a desk. I have all these lights, cameras, action, all write-offs. Yeah, so make everything your business. Everything should be a business. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. All right, guys, any last minute questions? Those were the 3 voicemails. 90 minutes, though. So much for I'm going to get in, get out. 90 minutes. You got any last minute questions? Say I'm not drinking, but we're still doing good vibes tonight. Oh, flat 10% above 15K. Okay. Not too bad. My current president of the United States would be very, very upset with that. to say about that. Guys, thanks so much. If you have a voicemail, leave it. That was all. I'm all caught up on voicemail, so definitely leave me one for next week. For the veterans out there, if I don't get a chance to speak to you, thank you so much for your service. I got to be honest. I got recruited to play at the Naval Academy, and I did not go because I am not man enough to be in the military or woman enough. It wasn't 2021 when I made that decision. So, yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure that I get all those veterans. Thank you so much, guys. Okay. Thanks for your service, and thank you for fighting for freedom that you provide me every single day. With that said, guys, I'm going to get out of here, go get some good vibes on the front porch, get to bed, maybe go to work tomorrow. We shall see. Take it easy, guys.